Hello everybody, it's been a couple of weeks since I posted, but I am back. I have a couple book talk moments, and then we'll get right into the craft for today. I just wanted to share, I actually got this for you all, but haven't been able to talk about it because it went missing on my desk for several months because it came out in February, January, February sometime, and then disappeared into the chaos that is my desk. So this is Chaos Magic, put out by Pagan Portals, but this is Ivy Corvus, who is here on YouTube, and she does great occult things. I hope I'm in frame. Great occult YouTube resource. Gosh, my brain. This one's an older Pagan Portal, the On One Alone. My partner actually has let me borrow this. I'm trying some druidry stuff too. Again, by the same author, The Path of the Hedge Witch. She has several books out. So I'm trying both of these to see how I like them. If anybody wants, has any questions or wants me to do a video on any one of these books, let me know. I picked this up, not last weekend, but the weekend before. This is Crone's Book of Charms and Spells. I mostly grabbed this because it was kind of cute, and it has like some pretty cutesy poetry and stuff in it, and it's just got all these lovely illustrations. This is by Valerie Worth, who was a prolific children's poet as well. And then I finally got Matt Oren's new book, The Psychic Art of Tarot, which you guys know this guy. Like, you've heard his name before. He's got Mastering Magic and Psychic Witch. They are some of the most recommended books for beginner practitioners. But I wanted to give a try on his newest book, which is on tarot. So I'm excited about that. That is enough book talk. We'll move right along. Like I said, if anybody has any questions, drop them in the comment section below. I would be happy to do like a quick flip through or answer any questions you may have. Just let me know. I'm not entirely sure about this angle, guys. So I had it pretty well set up, but then I realized like half my screen was cut off. So hopefully this works better. Let me get my keyboard out of the way. My office space is also my art space, so yeah, you know, it is what it is. I also don't need my mouse. Tools I do need. May or may not use all of these. May pick up something else from my many boxes of supplies. But right now, I need glitter art glue, a glue stick of any kind, any sort. You need glue. A good pair of scissors. I've got my micro liners out just in case. Might not need them. And an X-Acto knife. I also have my 1.5 inch circle punch out. So anything else I might end up using, you know, I'll go over what it is and where you can get it. All of that stuff is pretty available at anywhere. Amazon, if you want. If you have a brick and mortar arts and crafts store, absolutely 100%. Please support them. All right, guys, this is where we left off last time. We had done the main zodiac page. We have a pocket here. Can you guys see that? We have a pocket on this side and the zodiac here. Now we are turning the page and we have a completely blank page. Now, I have all my Aries things together. I do not know if Aries is going to take up a whole 2 pages or if I need to do Aries Taurus. But we're going to go in zodiac order. Trying to make sure I am on screen, but you guys are just a tad taller than me. I'm hoping I'm good. I think I'm good. All right, so I did a little bit. I took out notes that I had made in a different notebook, in a not pretty notebook, and I took out the basics. So these are just like the majority of the information on the sign. So when you see this, it'll be like the dates, the element, ruler, symbol, keywords, and then they'll have a little description. Down here I included the color, birthstone, and metal. I didn't do that on all of them. It was like if I had space. If I had more to say, it kind of filled up more pages. I also have some bits from a calendar. So here's Aries, cardinal sign of fire, ruled by Mars. This is the symbol. This is a illustration of a ram. Kind of cool old style illustration. I picked out some stuff with red because that's such a Aries color. Anything that like related to the fire sign. I got 2 sets of these. I probably won't use both. But maybe if we need a little more. I made this. And then, I don't know why, but this said Aries to me. I don't know. She just seems very Vogue. And then this little candle. And I may not use all of this. Red flower. I wrote a little bit of notes on this Aries rising. This paper, I have a little video of me making this. It looks like someone got unalived on it. I really liked this with all the red in the background. I just have a little thing that says March. I really should have a little thing that says April too. And then a couple other little bits and bobs. And then last night I was going through things, trying to find stuff I wanted to use. And I have all of this stuff. But a lot of this is going to end up being for Taurus. So all of these greens, I was pretty much saving for Taurus. So we may flip through some of this to get to, I know I pulled this salamander out and the little goat. And I think I want to try to use these 2 things, or maybe this one. We'll see. We'll see. And then I have this bunch of stickers that I liked, and I hope you guys can see this. Can you see this? Okay. There's this little magazine cut out. Oops. I thought that was cute. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have. Like I said, some of this stuff is for Taurus. And it does just depend on what we have room for. I got some stickers with some sentiments on them. I don't usually do sentiments, but for this, I might. Let's see. I know one of these this one. Again, most of this stuff is recycled from various things. I also have our big papers out. I have still this style paper. I have this, which I'm probably going to save for Taurus because this is literally the constellation Taurus. So I think I'm going to, cutting into this paper, excuse me, I'm sorry. I think I'm going to save cutting into this paper for Taurus. But I do also have this kind of cool, I'm afraid this might be too blue for Aries. But I really like the paper, so at some juncture in these astrology bits, I'm going to probably use that. Let's get right in to crafting now. So we've got our little pile of stuff. We've got some backup stuff if needed, if we need to take up more space. I have these 2 big calendar bits. You can see they're calendar bits. I think I was thinking this one for Taurus because it's got all the flowers, but it is also very yellow. I love the yellow. And then I've just got like this one who's got the stars. I didn't really have one that felt Aries-y. Is that a thing? Aries-y? Because Aries is like the start of spring, but it's also still kind of cold at that time period here sometimes. We call it fall spring. So I've got these stickers. I don't know if I'm going to use either of those big pieces because they're so big. I've got these stickers. These stickers I got from a that sticky sticker club thing years ago. I hold on to everything. So this one in particular says Aries to me. She just looks like she's got some sass, but this one's got the fire. So I don't know which one I'm going to end up using, or maybe I'll use both. Who knows? We got some swords here, though, and I'd kind of like to use those for when I do the tarot stuff. Using them for the swords. Or, like, using those on a sign that has to do with air, because swords and air are the same correspondence. So that's something I was thinking about. I'm going to have to choose between which cauldron I want. Which one would you use? Put in the comments. Would you use, we'll call this the owl cauldron, and we'll call this the griffin cauldron. Which one would you use? We'll see. I like this because it's a lantern. It's very blue. It still has a lot of blue. These are print-offs from something my mom gave me. I have no idea if they are AI or not, to be honest. I have no clue. I can't tell from looking at it because it's just a lantern with some pretty flowers. It's not like super hyper perfect, but it's quite possibly, yeah. These came from that date book calendar thing I showed last time. This is her art. This little goat and this little salamander. And I think that's it from this one. A lot of this stuff is coming from different calendars or date planners. Like this came from Year of the Witch day planner calendar thing. And then this came from something I got from Tamed Wild a long time ago. So again, you just save stuff and then you make art with it. So let me see. I need to place where this is going to go. Kind of would like it to be middle-ish of the page over here, I think. Are we seeing everything okay? Do I need to adjust? I can't tell. I want to make sure everything is visible. Okay, I think I got it. So, I'll probably cut this down. Like a lot, I would think. We don't need all of this. So, really quickly, I'm going to just kind of go around. I want to get that glow of the fire, though. I don't want to cut any of that off because I think that part is very important. And so this isn't like fussy cutting. I'm not cutting along the edges. I'm just kind of doing my own little shape. And I am going to cut the hard edge off. So it just kind of looks like a blob right now, but you probably won't see most of the edges. This will go into scrap. If you have scraps this big, you save this paper. It is glossy, so I probably won't use it in most of my other journals, but if you guys have some of that rough, you can like rough the edges, and you can also you can do that with a pair of scissors. Just be careful. You can kind of do that. You see how that kind of gives you a rough edge? I don't want to do it too much on this because I don't want it to be like super done. But then like you give yourself a little bit of an edge there. And then you can go back through with what they call inks. Ooh, that's a big rip. That's a big rip. But, you know, if you want to make it look old and ooh, that was a big one too. If you want to make it look old, this is the best way to do it. But they make these little sandpaper dauber things. Hold on. I don't have one, but I do have the daubers. So the daubers look like this, and you just have a little sandpaper thing that you stick on here. Now this one I use with my inks. And of course, because I'm looking, I can't find what I'm talking about. Here we go. These little dauber things. Guys, if you see dog or cat hair, I'm so sorry, but I live in a house full of pets. Everything is covered in dog hair or cat hair all the time. And you just put this on here, and then you put it in your ink, and I'll show you. I'll show you in a minute here. Let me finish doing this, and then, let's see, we need to do this part. Now, this is glossy paper, and I don't usually use glossy paper for anything, but like I said last time, we are doing a low maintenance journal, and that means I'm not spending 100,000 years on like making it perfect. All right, move all this stuff out of the way. So take your dauber and whatever ink color you want. Now, I'm going to use frayed burlap because it's handy. And it's a little bit more brown, so I think you'll see it better. Now, I probably had a dauber with frayed burlap on it, but I don't have the time to like be looking for it. So you just need to get some on your dauber. And then you come and you do this number right here. And it gives you this like antiqued look. Now I'm using an oxide here, which oxides will react to water. So if you were doing this on something else, am I getting this all over the place? I sure am, because it got on my finger. Well, guys, here's another little thing I keep handy. Baby wipes. Wipe my finger off. And I am gonna just wipe off this because it's glossy, so it's not gonna be a big deal. There we go. Clean again. Probably not the best thing to test to show that to you guys on, but I hadn't shown it to you yet, so I just wanted to do it. You can do this with any ink, but these Ranger Tim Holtz, these are kind of expensive, but they are worth it. They last forever. Like I've had this one for a couple years now. I'm gonna just leave this close by because I always get messy. I did this paper with the oxide, and then I spritzed it with some water to lighten up this really dark spot that I had. So that's like the kind of thing you'll get. You can do like a light spritz. You can do that with alcohol or water, and it will react. The inks, here's what an ink looks like. It says ink. This is walnut stain. It's very dark. I actually love it. It's one of my favorites. But they don't react like this on the paper. Anyway, moving along. We've got Aries fire because, of course we do. We need some Aries fire. Everything's looking a little brown right now, and we need some red. So let us begin. We do need some more background paper. I think I would like to use a bit of this again. I love the geometric patterns on this. I do think I'm gonna do a whole spread, actually. So, do we think we should make this a pocket? Should we make this a pocket? Do we want another pocket? I don't know. I don't know, Bob. What do we think? Are we liking the way this looks? Rising, put it up here maybe? No, I don't like that. I would rather have this like this, which means we're gonna lose some stuff. So let's not use that that way. See what else we got. I've got this beautiful little tag. I might ink the edges of this too really quickly. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that like that while I putter around with this for a bit. Because I want it to be cool. And I have way more paper if I need to like dig for some stuff. So I'm not stressing about that. What do you think about? I don't want to cover up any of this because I really liked the details that I got with the. This is just a stamp that I used with some regular ink. I might put it down a little bit. I don't want to cover up any of the notes either. So, let's talk about Aries a little bit. So Aries is a fire sign. It is a cardinal fire sign. So that means they like to be in charge. They like to be, you know, the main attraction. They like to kind of tell everybody else how it goes, like how we're to do it. They're leaders. I don't want to make them sound like they're like, it must be my way or the highway. Although some can be that way. I think it's important to remember that all signs have shadow sides, and we are none of us innocent of our signs' shadow sides at all. Kind of digging that. I think I do kind of want it this way. You see how that's lightening up a little bit as it sits there? What do you think? Should we put Aries up there, or should we do this? Oh no, let's do the dark. I like it like that. I definitely want to make sure the whites have something behind them, so they're not just white on white. So like this little salamander guy, I'll probably put him somewhere up here. I've got way more on this side than I do on this side, so I need to like refocus. Look at this little lantern guy. I don't know what I'm gonna do with her. Might stick it behind a little bit. Since it's blue, I might lose the stem of this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I lose the stem? I don't want to cover up any of the writing portions because that's the important stuff. I don't know if I should read these. I nabbed most of this out of, oh my gosh, what is the name of that book? It's a white astrology book. And of course I can't see it from where I'm sitting. I don't want to run and get it. I'll put it in a link in the description if I remember. It's like, I don't even remember. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Dead air time. Do we like that? Do we like that? Do we like that? Do we like that? Or should we cut around the owls a little more? I kind of like the griffins. Griffins say Aries way more to me than like owls do. Owls give like an air energy, I feel like. Anyway, talking about Aries, we have the dates of Aries are from March 20th, 21st. It just depends on when the sun is actually moving through the sign. And then April 20th, 21st-ish, around in that time period. It is different every year. So you'll see where it will always say like definites, but you need to check because they do move slightly. Like I said, element is fire. Ruler is Mars. The symbol is the ram, which is why we have this little ram guy happening. They're very headstrong. That's why the ram, right? Keyword is I am. So Aries is that like very beginning. Think of like kind of when you're first born and everything is sort of like, I need these things right now. This is who I am, and I'm trying to figure out who I am. I'm a baby, you know. Not saying that Aries are babies. Just like they're the beginning of the zodiac. So they can feel a little bit like their needs are the like imperative. Like that's not a bad thing either. It's knowing that, well, it can be a bad thing, but it's more like, what are the words I'm looking for here? Aries knows who it is, and they are trying to be like, here are my boundaries, like get in line with that, or like I'm not gonna have time for you, like just get in line with my boundaries. And my needs. Like, I know I need these things. And so they're very aware of their needs, which is not a bad thing in this world where we give ourselves away so easily. So I don't want anybody to be like, oh, why are you trashing Aries? I'm totally not. My sister is an Aries. So I love Aries. Hi, Sin. Go check her out. She does streaming on Twitch. I would say link in the description, but I don't know how to do that. I'll try. Okay, so we've got most of the white covered up. I might find a couple more things. We do have stickers. I do kind of want a piece of something to go here. And I can't decide on if we need a pocket or not. So let me think a minute. We've got stickers. I definitely want to use some of these. I could do one here that would cover up the big old white spot. This is supposed to be the like, don't worry about it, it doesn't have to be all perfect and completely covered journal. So should I put this on top like this and then have this one this way? I feel like this needs inking around the edges for sure. I might grab that dauber and just real quick. I also hate the way this is cut out. Like, I don't like those sharp edges. I do have a quarter rounder, but I don't think it will work for this. I just realized I was probably cutting off screen. I'm just kind of going around and softening those edges. Now, Aries is not super soft, so they don't need to have soft edges. But I'm a Pisces and this is my journal, so where Aries is the beginning of the zodiac, Pisces is the ending of the zodiac. So yeah, my sister and I are kind of opposites, but not in a bad way. All right, so I'm going to leave those corners because I kind of like that it has a flat edge there. But I am gonna hit this with some more frayed burlap. And we're not gonna worry about the fact that it's glossy, so it's gonna smear. We're just not gonna care. We're gonna be careful not to smudge it while it's drying. I'm going to set that over there. Am I gonna remember where all this is? Probably not. So let us start by moving some of this over. I'm gonna start with this piece up here in the corner. This is a nice, easy piece of scrapbook paper. It's very thin. It's not like a thick scrapbook paper. I would not use too much super thick stuff in a grimoire, book of shadows, journal, junk journal, just because it adds a bunch of bulk. Like I will show you, if I remember, I will show you at the end of this how bulky this journal has already gotten. It's kind of rough, actually. So I'm just going to glue this down here as close to the edge as I feel like will work. I'm not stressing about it because this is not the super stressed journal. This is just for fun and for sharing with you guys what you can do with a junk journal style book of shadows, grimoire, whatever you want to call it. My partner is currently making one that he's calling the the Book of Sorceress Operations, which I thought was super cute. Shout out to James. He is on Instagram and YouTube. You can find him over at, oh my gosh, he's Fairy Faith Death Witch on Instagram, but on YouTube he is the Gnostic. Oh gosh, I can't remember. Again, link in the description. I'm gonna have to remember all of these little things to link in the description. I have ADHD, guys. Ask in the comments. If I don't remember to put it, ask in the comments. He has a pretty good YouTube channel. There's a lot. He's just broke 100, I think like 130 something followers. He's got way more followers than me, which is awesome. really, really, really proud of him for doing that. He does his own thing. His YouTube channel is a lot different than mine. He shares more of like his personal stuff, and he films most of his videos in the graveyard near our home. So that's kind of cool. If you're into that, visit him because he's pretty awesome. Says the girlfriend who's totally not biased at all. I'm not biased, I promise. So I'm just gluing this stuff down. Talking about Aries still. So their sign actually starts at the spring equinox, which I think is super cool because that is the renewal of, you know, life in our planet, like our hemisphere, because we're in the northern hemisphere here. So the renewal of our spring and all this. I'm covering up all those pretty details. That's okay. I was gonna tuck that one underneath, but it's not wanting to work. I might could do that part. Oh shit. The great thing about using glue stick is you can pull shit up. I want this behind here for sure because that's gonna take up a whole bunch of room. Oh, that blue is pretty. Crap. This is the thing, sometimes you hit, like, you get double-sided pieces of paper and you have to decide what to put. Like, this side's easy because it's just words. But you have other things where it's like, which side of this am I using? Because I like both. So I'm gonna stick this one here. So I've already deviated from the original plan, I can tell, because I don't have room for that head. For the head. Have room for the head. This chick who I'm absolutely, I love her. She needs to be on here. I'm gonna have to just cover up some stuff. It'll be fine. I think I was supposed to put those over that way a little bit more. I don't know if I want to do all the same. That's gonna cover that up. I don't want to cover any of the writing. I also don't want to cover the Griffin up. I feel like that's mean. Griffin didn't do anything to anybody. Anyway, with their sign starting at the spring equinox, you have this like enthusiasm for life and a joy, like an interest in living, and like a fiery it gives Queen of Wands energy, like that fiery excitement, but it would be more like Page of Wands, I think. Because they're new to life, and that makes them exciting. They are the ram symbolization is totally perfect for like that headstrong. They have ideals. They have a tendency to pursue things. I'm like kind of paraphrasing this. They pursue things like initiation, new beginnings, spontaneous ventures, rebelliousness, and transformation and rebirth. So they're certainly not boring people, Aries. They're seen as ambitious, dynamic, pioneers. They're great leaders. Now, of course, you're going to have different colorings based on placements. Like, you're not always going to have this exact person. You know, if that doesn't ring a bell, if you're an Aries and that doesn't ring a bell with you, check out your other placements, because you may have placements that are like throwing that off a bit. I glued those two things down with the art glitter glue because they're a little bit smaller and I don't want them moving around, and this is going to hang off the page a bit. So I just want to be careful about placement. I think I want to put this up here because it seems very fitting. It seems very Aries. Now they're also very courageous. They like to go on adventures and explore. And I love that. I love that energy. Like, can we get some more of the whimsy? The way the one book describes it says they have a healthy self-interest, which is what I was trying to discuss before without sounding like I'm calling them all, you know, narcissistic crazy people, because I don't believe that at all. Like, a lot of people like to say that about Leo too. Fire signs are just fiery. They have a lot to say. They have a lot to bring us, and I think it's a good thing, not a bad thing. Especially as someone who doesn't have any fire in their chart at all. Like, I have no fire anywhere. I'm gonna just dab a bit of glue because this is already pulling up from where I touched it. I'm gonna take the like little bit more powerful glue and just hit those corners so we don't end up having you know, stuff falling apart right away. All right, so this is a pretty big piece. I'm gonna use the glue stick on most of it. And I'm gonna try really hard to remember where I put all that stuff. But who knows if I'll actually remember it. Just like make a square and then I fill it in. Oh, I'm dropping papers. Don't lose the little ladies. These are like fairy crones. They're definitely fae, and they have fire, and I love them. I love them. So anyway, like I was saying, I don't have any fire in my chart. So I love fire signs because they have the ambition, they have the drive, they have the more like fire to get it done. I have no fire to get shit done, man. I blame my ADHD all the time, but sometimes I wonder, is it my lack of fire? Somebody told me one time I needed to work with fire to like incorporate it, and I mean, I love fire, like literally. You guys should go check out my Instagram. I just did like this great big huge fire pit in my backyard. I love it. My daughter dug most of the hole and we like blessed it and did all this cool stuff. So I'm excited about it. To say the least. I am gonna do art glitter on this one because this paper is a little bit different than that, and I know that art will make it stick. I don't want to cover up the moon all the way. Kind of want to go out to the edge of the book, but not like to where it'll scrunch up in there, because I don't know if you could tell on this other page I've already got things. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on that stuff that was over the crease. I love to do over the crease stuff, but it does kind of mess with stuff sometimes. I don't remember where everything was perfectly, so I am just gonna kind of guess. I know this was up here, and I know I said I wanted to darken those edges, so I'm gonna grab this. I've not done this on, this is watercolor paper. So I just made a bunch of these like little splotches with paint. You can sell, that's watercolor back there. And then I took a paint pen and wrote Aries on top of that. So I'm gonna just like darken all of that up. Try to give it a little bit of patinaed edge. But I definitely don't want to take away from the gold because I really like that pop. Very Ariesy. And I do think this is going to need art as well because of the difference of paper. Now this paper is a little bit thicker. I know I literally just said avoid using super thick paper, but for something so small, I think it's fine. Do I want to go this way or this way? Indecision. Indecision. What else was I saying? If you come out in Aries on the wrong day, they can be, you know, they can be aggressive, but not in an off-putting manner. I think that everybody has a temper, but they can be reactionary And I say can be because not everyone acts the same way. And again, we have other placements and signs and aspects that are going to change things. So if you're an Aries and you have like a Cancer moon, you're not going to be as reactionary. Although you may be reactionary, but emotional, like in a nurturing, like caring, like be a big time, like mama bear kind of figure. Don't mess with my babies kind of thing. Do I want this much green? I don't know. I'm going to trim this edge, and that's not going to be straight because I can't cut straight to save my life. I'm going to trim this. We're going to save these bits because you never know. I have a little thing I put scraps on off the side there. And then I think I want to put this like here. What did I have here? Oh, I had the Aries rising thing here. I'm going to drop that down just a smidgen so I can put that there. And then I know I had the little ram there. So yeah, remember that you're not just your sun sign. That's the most important takeaway from today. You are not just your sun sign. In fact, what you present to the world is your rising sign, and we will get to Aries rising in just a moment because I also did the rising notes. I should have maybe done the moon too, but I thought I wouldn't have room to do it the way I wanted to. So, oh my gosh, guys, the hair in my house is ridiculous. I love this noise. So there you go, ASMR. I don't want it under there. There we go. I love our little fates. I don't know. This picture is just so interesting to me. I don't know if you guys can see it super well. I'm gonna lift, now that I've glued it down, let me lift the whole book up so you can see this picture. I don't know who the artist is. This came out of a magazine, and I was actually sent this picture in a Happy Mail, so I don't even know what magazine it came out of. But I absolutely love this. I got a couple of them. Not the same exact art, but similar. So if anybody recognizes this, put it in the comments. Let me know who the artist is because I absolutely love it. This is just a cigar wrapper, and I thought it was very Ariesy. Like, Aries is not ruled by Venus by any means, but it gives like this fiery energy. I don't know. I just really liked it. So there you go. It's a good accent piece. And we'll put the salamander somewhere there. And we'll put this up there. And this is just like an extra bit of journaling space if I decide to come back and put the moon. But I don't really have room for her either. I should have done a pocket. Yeah, I glued that down already. I'm not gonna fuck with that too much. And we're gonna put this piece down at the bottom here. I could shorten it, I guess. It doesn't need to be that big. How would I need to cut it to get it to fit there? With the A going in the right direction. Not too much. Just like cut the bottom off. Cut that much off the side there. That's of course not going to be straight because, again, can't cut straight to save my life. But we're going to cut that off real quick. Love my measuring, right? Like, just fold it. Just fold it, guys. It's fine. I could cut to make it even. I could cut a little off of both sides and the A would still be in the middle, but I'm not going to do that. It's going to take way too much time. I did just throw away those scraps. Those scraps weren't worth saving to me. I don't really know why I'm using the art glitter glue for this, but there you go. I want to try to tuck it underneath. That's going to be a weird thing there. Oh well, it's fine. It doesn't need to be like perfect. It's like a box opening. All right, so the color is red. I talked about that. The birthstone is diamond, or I don't know if that's the birthstone actually, or if it's just the gemstone that is like correspondingly related, because birthstones are usually done by... Okay, we're back. You missed me gluing this down. This little candle piece got glued down, and I dug through my stuff again to find a couple more bits, and I have some things I need to glue down. Oh, I found this. I thought it was cute. I think I'm gonna make a little tuck spot with it right here at the edge. I'm covering up the Mars symbol, but I have it up here, so not a big deal. I found this little whooshy bit. And a couple of little things I have over here. So we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to start with the little tuck spot. This was actually the backside of an enamel pin from Witch Casket, but they always do such cute art. And there is a tiny little hole in it, but nobody's going to see that. Not enough for it to not make a cute tuck spot. So to make a tuck spot, you're just going to take... I want it to be open from this side, so I'm going to glue down. Ooh, hold on, I got to get the glue off of here. Sometimes if I leave it sitting for too long, it needs a little bit of a clear out. So if I want it to open from this direction, I need to glue this side down. This is an excellent use of the tip. And then the bottom, of course, has to be glued. But then I'm just going to try not to get it too close to the edge. And then I've got some glue running out the side, of course. So I need to clean that up before I close it, because it's going to make a mess. All right, can you see that okay? I'm going to hold that down for just a second because it's not quite stuck good yet. I don't remember what I was talking about, but that's okay. We'll get there. I know I wanted to go over Aries rising. So my Aries rising notes are here. I have my dog. Hold on. Okay, Aries rising. They tend to be very active and straightforward. They enjoy some competitiveness, like a Leo. They dive straight into things, and they're very like go get them. Reminds me of like Knight of Wands energy. Hopefully they have a plan before they dive right in, right? Okay, I think my tuck spot's dry enough now. I'm a little bit worried about where it's at, and it might pop up, but yeah, you can just stick stuff in there now. It makes a nice little... Oh, I have some Aries things. Let me tuck it in there. I actually have a couple gigantic stickers that I might end up sticking in there. To finish this page off, we have the little salamander guy. He's going to get some of this. Aries always like to move at top speed. They are seen as very go-getter type people, at least rising. And if you don't know what your rising sign is, you need to know your birth location, the time you were born, and of course your birth date. And that is how you find your rising sign. You can pop it into an app or a website that'll do your chart for you, or you can have a professional do your chart. And they will be able to tell you your rising. Your rising sign determines where your house placements are. And that is different through a couple of different types of astrology. There are certain ones that they do something called whole house, or they do, I can't remember what the other one is called. You guys, I'm not an expert. I'm just a dabbler. I'm just a dabbler. I'm not entirely sure where this piece came from, but I'm gonna glue it down because it has the word Aries on it. But yes, if you're interested in knowing what your rising sign is and you don't already know, make sure you know your birth time. You can check your long form birth certificate if you don't know. Or like my kids did, they just checked their baby book because I couldn't remember, but it was definitely in their baby book. Some people remember stuff like that. Not my brain. I found this cute vernal equinox, and since Where do I want to put this? I think I'll just stick it there. Since Aries starts at the vernal equinox, I thought I would add that. These all came from a calendar. Again, they're mostly... Have I glued that down? I did. Oh, it's hard to decide where to put stuff when you're like pretty much done. I could not find an April that was that small. I don't know. I probably have one somewhere. When I find one, I will probably put it on here. Oh, there goes my dog again. One moment, please. Sorry, my dog is very anxious about something. I'm not sure what's going on with her. She wants inside, outside, left, right, left, right. A then B. Oh wait, that was a different. Back in my console gaming days. All right, I've got most of this glued down. There's a couple of spots I want to cover with stickers, but we're just about done here. So I'm going to try to hurry up and finish. I think I really wanted to put this one kind of down at the bottom of this little cauldron. I just thought this was kind of cute. Can you see that okay? No, you cannot. I'm putting it down here. See? Oh, I forgot. So, I don't know if you're familiar, but this is a playing card. Clubs, Queen of Clubs, and I thought that would be cool to incorporate because I was talking about the Queen of Wands being kind of the same energy as Aries. Very creative. Now, I think Knight of Wands is more Aries rising, but... And I think Page of Wands is really the better bet, but I didn't have a spare Page of Wands to have around. All right, couple of stickers. I do think I'm going to go with her. She is just, even though this one has fire, this gives more like swords energy. And I really, like, she's sitting on clouds, but she gives, like, I don't know why she gives Aries energy. She gives Aries energy to me. Which one would you use? I'm going to go with this one. Where am I going to put her? Good question. Up here or over here? I feel like she wants to sit like right on the edge here. And you can't even see that, so let me scoot it here. I think she wants to be there. How do we like that? I like that. She gets a little lost on that darker paper, but it's not a big deal. Everybody's glued down, I think. Let's check. Anybody falling? No, we're good. Okay. I do want to try to use the big geometric shape starburst guy here, but I don't know if he's going to fit where I want to put him. So let's just see. And if he does not fit, we'll figure something else out. Let me make sure we're in frame. It's a little bit hard to see that, and I apologize for having to move things around, but all right, I'm gonna end up covering that up. Maybe I cover up a little bit of this. Which way do we want it to go? Do we want to go this way? Or do we want it to go that way? Well, I kind of dig that. Do we like that? It might go off the page a tad. Just a smidgen. I can fold it around though. Yeah, we'll fold it around because that page is going to be Taurus anyway, so it'll get its own special treatment. I do wish I had cut that. It's going to bother me. This is supposed to be the low maintenance journal. All right, so leftovers are just the extra Aries bits, which I can use for something else. Almost all the white is covered. We got a couple places here. And we could always stick some of these smaller stickers on those spots. There's some stars here that would be cute. just to add a little bit of, can you see? Can't see. Just adding a few little star bits. And then there's a space here that I'd kind of like to do a moon on. I'm gonna just, and again, I'm off because of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? All right. So there she is. This is Aries in all her glory. I don't know if you can see the whole page. Let's do like a slow, do a slow pan. Here is our Aries rising information. And then we have our little fairy fates. And we've got our ram representation, our little tuck spot. Some cute bits there. Got to incorporate the fire and the red for Aries. All right, guys, what do you think? Did we do Aries justice? Full spread, both pages. Next will be Taurus. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you could, please like and subscribe and do all of those social media ritual things. Follow my Instagram at silver_on_the_willow. Yeah, I hurt myself doing that. Follow me there, follow me here. If you're not already, subscribe. Leave me a comment. Comment some stuff down in the bottom so I can talk to you. I'd love to answer any questions you have. If I forgot to mention anything, drop it in the comments. I'm going to try to leave the links in the description of the books I talked about. And I will talk to you guys later. I hope you have an absolutely magical day and the rest of your week. And until next time, see you later.